A common stereotype that you hear a lot of times is make sure not to buy anything Magic the Gathering from Amazon because you're going to get scammed. They're going to steal your product. They're all going to be ripped open boxes. They're all going to be trash. Nothing's going to be good in it. And for a few different reasons, I actually want to kind of tell why I don't believe that's true and kind of where that rumor started and why I actually think that Amazon is a fantastic place to buy from. So I'm going to kind of preface this a little bit by saying you should, first of all, try to support your local LGS. As long as they have good prices and they're supportive and they're good people, then you should definitely support them. But Amazon does have a lot of cool perks to offer as shopping from them. But there's a few things that you really need to follow when you order from them. I've been buying Magic cards from Amazon for since I started getting back in the game 6 years now. Holy crap! Yeah, and next month it'll be 6 years I'm back in Magic. Wow. So there's a few things I want to talk about first of all, and now that I do on my Whatnot show, and the biggest thing we like to hunt for is serialized cards. Like textured cards, and definitely the cards that are the sought after ones of the set, your emblems, things like that. And what I like about Amazon when you buy products from there is the boxes are completely randomized. Back a few videos ago, I made one about Omega boxes versus regular collector packs and how when you look at the math of the odds of pulling a certain card in a certain box, whatever, and the 3% odds of pulling like a serialized cards or whatever it is, the same thing applies when you buy loose collector boxes. For example, I think it's Brothers War, for example, like on average, you should pull a serialized card in every 3 boxes on average. There's a variance, of course. Dominaria United, I'm looking at over there. Again, same thing. You're supposed to get a Legends card, one of the Lost Legends, in approximately 3% of packs, or one in every 3 boxes. So when you buy a case of 6 boxes of, say, Dominaria United, and you're hunting for old Lost Legends, you're only going to get on average 2 in a case. Again, that's kind of the ceiling there, and like the floor is always 0 with the variance, but you should get about 2. Now, if you buy 6 loose boxes from Amazon, probably won't be from the same case. Technically speaking, again, remember that ceiling kind of goes away a little bit, and the ceiling could be as many boxes as you have, where the floor could always be 0. You never know. But I like the randomness of that for my show. When I can, I like cases, but I like loose boxes as well. I have nothing against loose boxes. I think that as long as they're from a good source and they have a chance of pulling the good hits in the set, they're worth going for. And I'll be honest with you, I pulled a lot of serialized cards on my show. Like if I had to put a random number out there, I'd say it's probably close to 30. In the past pretty much year alone, year and a half. And I gotta tell you, I would say the majority of those actually came from Amazon boxes. It could be just the odds that way, but it's just because I think that randomness of it, where it's not coming from a case from somebody, that it could be picked through. Because think about it this way: if there's a store cracking packs open, let's say go back to Dominaria United, for example, where there's a Lost Legends, 3% of packs, so about a 1 in every three boxes. If you're a store and you're opening boxes for singles, and let's say you open the first 2 boxes of the case of 6 boxes, first you open the case of 6 boxes, and the first 2 boxes you open have Legends cards, well, odds are the other 4 probably won't have any. So they're probably going to sell those other people knowing the odds are very low of getting them. Amazon doesn't care. They don't care what's in the boxes. They just put the products, the collector box, in a box, ship it to you. It's done with. They don't care about the actual cards themselves. They're not interested in the hobby or whatsoever. Excuse me. So that's one of the reasons I really like Amazon, for like the randomness of the boxes. Of course, they get shipped to them in mini cases and all that, but they get distributed so fast that no one has a chance to even look at what's even there. Let's see. Also, a tip as far as, let me go back here. So one of the biggest things that people talk about is the likelihood of like all Amazon boxes are searched, they're all open, they're all resealed, and it's all a mess, right? None of it's, you're not gonna get any good real things in there. Now, can you buy a box from Amazon and have it be resealed? 100%. Absolutely. Yes, you can, if you buy it the wrong way. What did I mean by that? So there's a couple different ways to buy on Amazon. And now if you are, let's say you're a Prime member and you go on there and there's a box of Lost Caverns of Ixalan, okay? And you go in there and it says it's Prime and it's from Amazon. That means Amazon's the seller. It's in their warehouse. It's in their hands, and they're going to send it to you. Let's say you buy it from a third party. That's from a different store. That could become shipped from that store to you, not from the Amazon warehouse. But if you're buying it from Amazon FBA, Fulfillment by Amazon, it's in their warehouses. It's a sealed product. It's brand new. It's going to send it to you. You should be fine. Now, if you go on in their categories, there is a used section, and used like new, very good, whatever it is. But a lot of times, a lot of products across all of Amazon use like new. What it usually means is just like the box is dented, or maybe it was opened, it was looked in real quick. Let's say you're buying a vacuum or something like that. Maybe it was like a customer got it, they opened it up, oh, it's the wrong one. They return it to Amazon. Amazon looks at it and they go, oh, it's brand new. So you sell it like new because it's not used, but it's not brand new. So that's what it is. When you're getting a like new Magic box from Amazon, chances are that's a customer return. Those are the ones that are probably going to be the problem. What that most likely is one of two things. One, it's a dented box. It got dinged. It dropped on the floor. It's got a big dent in it. And they're like, well, it's not open, so we're going to sell it like new, throw 10% off, and someone's going to buy it. Or it actually is a return. So I buy whatever box on Amazon, and if I'm a scumbag person, I take it home, I open it up, I open all the packs up, take all the good cards out, and however they reseal, I have no idea how to reseal things, but they reseal the plastic on there, return it to Amazon. Amazon, they're not pros at looking at collectible gaming stuff, so they're going to say, oh, the wrapper's on there, but it's been returned, so we're going to sell it like new. So when you order a like new thing, it's probably going to be a scam from a previous buyer. Now, I tested this one time just on purpose. I'm like, let me just see what happens. I don't remember what the box was, but there was a used like new Magic collector box, and I think I bought two. And I was like, let me just see what happens. I knew it was going to be a scam, but I said, I want to see how this process works. And sure enough, it came in, and it had that, like, the if you've seen this from Amazon, it's like a clear bag with like the green writing on it. That's a return bag is what that was. And one had an outer seal, one didn't. I cracked them both open and they were clearly resealed. It was a mess. And those are the like new things. So of course I returned them. It was no problem whatsoever. But if you're going to buy them from Amazon, make sure it's from Amazon Prime, fulfilled by Amazon, and you shouldn't have a problem. It really is an issue. And I know they say non-returnable on them, but if there's a problem and you get someone on the phone, you can return them. So again, the risk, there really isn't a risk there if something really did go wrong with it. Don't abuse it, because obviously you get kicked off the platform if you start being, an abuser and doing, too many shady things. But if it's legit, keep it. If it's not, then obviously you can send it back. It's not a big deal. This is the big one that I really like to give Amazon credit for, is their pre-orders. So I kind of, my rule is, like any set, I don't care what it is, I almost never go more than 30 days out to pre-order a product from any store. It doesn't matter what it is, except for Amazon. Amazon, I will pre-order 6 months in advance. I don't care, because they have a couple things. One, the pre-order price guarantee. Let's say a new collector box comes out before the prices rose. Let's say it was $200 on pre-order, $199.99 for a pre-order for an Amazon box, and it's a pre-order price guarantee. So you pre-order it 3 months in advance. If that price changes up or down any which way, you're going to get the best price. So let's say the product is super hot and it's gone in 5 seconds. It jumps to $300 on pre-order. You're still locked into that $199.99 or whatever the price is. If it drops, say, to $189.99, they're going to put you at that price. So doing that, you're going to get the best price that they have to offer at any given time. So pretty awesome there. Also, they do not charge you until it ships, which is like literally the week before release. So you can pre-order something 6 months out. I've done this a million times. You can pre-order a product 6 months out, 3 months out, whatever it is, and you can change your mind at any point. No big deal. Cancel order, no problem. My only suggestion to doing that is, and I made this mistake before, was if you're going to pre-order on Amazon a bunch, let's say you're going to pre-order like 30 collector boxes, because whatever big set's coming up and you want, it's a Tarkir Dragonstorm's coming out, you're going to pre-order 30 boxes on Amazon. Don't do one order of 30, because you can't cancel partially of it. You have to cancel the whole thing or keep the whole thing. So what I usually do is, if I'm going to order like pre-order like 24, like a master case worth of Amazon, which I don't usually do, but if I did, I would get like 4 orders of 6 or 6 orders of 4. So I can delete and adjust my quantity and my pre-orders if I want to, as I go through and as I'm kind of seeing more of the set and we're seeing how it's playing out towards release. So that's the best thing. If you're ordering from XYZ store across the country now for Spider-Man that's coming out in, end of summer or early fall, I mean, you're giving them their money 4 months in advance, and you're just hoping they fulfill the order. And you gotta realize that far in advance, maybe a credit card chargeback can be hard to do if they scam you or the store goes out of business or whatever. Amazon, they're not touching your money until it ships. So there's zero risk there whatsoever before the product's released. So it's something to consider. Actually, let me back up a little bit with the whole scam box thing. I want to kind of tell you where that all started. I forgot that part a minute ago, but basically that all started with Time Spiral Remastered with TSR in 2020. So that was like that COVID era kind of thing happening. And what it was I got a box right here, TSR box. Again, the average for those things is the one retro foil per box. There could be two, there could be four, there could be zero, but the basic, the average is one. That's, like 90% of the time that's what it is. So what a lot of people did at that area, it was like 2020, because that came out July 2020. A lot of people bought boxes from Amazon, and they were hard to get too. Remember, like for a while when Time Spiral first came out, like people were going crazy for it. People would get the boxes in from Amazon, they'd open up the box, open packs until they get the retro foil, keep the retro foil, package everything up, and send it back to Amazon. So there were a lot of problems with Time Spiral because that was a super sought after thing when Time Spiral Master first came out in 2020. So that's kind of where the whole Amazon scam thing started. I'm sure it happened before that, but that was like where it made newsworthy, where like everyone started talking about it was Time Spiral Remastered because the retro foils were very sought after then. They're still very sought after now. So again, that's kind of the history and kind of where like the thought process came about all that. But the last thing I kind of want to talk about is like the price points with Amazon. Again, Amazon, I think price point wise, it can be a little bit higher, especially nowadays. Like a few years ago, like they were pretty competitive with stores, but now I see them as definitely having a premium price, especially now with MSRP being back and pre-order collector boxes are like 300. I mean, most stores have them for like 230, 200, 230, 250. So in that, in that sense, if you're a few weeks out, support your local LGS or your local store, and you should do that. Number one, they're cheaper. If you know them and if you know them personally and you visit them all the time, 100% give them your business. Plus, they're going to be cheaper and better, and support friends. Um, but a couple things to take into account that I definitely use all the time is I have an Amazon Prime card. I have a credit card, and so there's a couple of reasons why it's good. One, if you are just a regular person, not a business or business entity or anything like that, and you have a 5% back, it's 5% back if you have an Amazon card, you shop on Amazon. So if you have a $300 box, and let's say your state sales tax, like I think in Mass it's 6%. I forget what it is, but say it's like 6%. Now, if I was paying tax on the products I purchased from there, that cash back kind of negates the tax. You're almost getting at that flat rate of what the price is on the website, which is pretty sweet. 5% back cash back is a lot. The better part, though, I'm sure people that have a business entity know this, that if you are tax exempt, and you're not actually paying tax on it, so your $300 box costs $300, but then you're getting the 5% back still on that, you're getting 5% of 300 is $15. So you're actually only paying 285, and you're getting that $15 back in a cash back rebate at the end of the month with your credit card company. So either way, whether you're paying the tax up front or you're not, because you're doing it on the sale afterwards, it's pretty good. So people don't think like 5% is a lot of money. It really is. I mean, when you think about like, as the numbers get higher, if you were to, pre-order 30 boxes at $300 a piece for 9 grand, I mean, 5% cash back is $450. I mean, you're basically getting a box and a half for free at that point. So when you kind of think about it that way, it really does add up. But it's funny because, for so long, I hear it all the time, and I see it on Facebook groups, I see it on what I show, YouTube and all that, and it's like everyone trashes Amazon. And do I have some gripes with them? Sure. I can tell you in probably the hundreds, if not literally thousands of boxes I bought from Amazon over the past 5, 6 years. I think I had one that was an actual scam box that I thought was new. It was a Zendikar Rising box, and it was 4 or 5 years ago, whatever it was when they first came out. The two that I got were used like new. I knew that was gonna be a scam, but I kind of was like curious at the process, to be honest with you. I was like, well, excellent box at the time were like 275, and these were like 200. I was like, well, let me see what happens. Worst case scenario, I return them and my money's locked up for a couple of days. Not a big deal. Um, but yeah, actually, there's one more part that I just thought of. I didn't write down, but I think I should mention too, because this is a scam that actually I got busted on. Actually, a bunch of people got busted on, and I think years ago, Rudy actually on Alpha Investments actually made a video about it. But make sure you have, well, this kind of goes back to what I was saying, was make sure you have a trusted seller. I would only buy it from Amazon FBA, fulfilled by Amazon, sold by Amazon. That's what I would do moving forward. But it was a year ago, whatever it was. Again, I'm terrible with time frames, but it was someone it was a set that was like hard to get. I want to say it was Lord of the Rings, but I don't know if that's right. But either way, it was like a set that was like out of print. It was gone. All of a sudden, the store had like a shitload available for a price that was like 10% below TCG Player. So it wasn't like some wild price like you see on eBay sometimes that are clearly scammers, like the $300 box for $79.99 for a collector box shipped with like 40% feedback. It was like a good seller, like thousands of feedback that was good. Everything was great. And I was like, oh, okay. And so I think I spent I spent a lot of money on it. I was like, I think it was Lord of the Rings. I forget, but it was like 5 grand or 8 grand I spent on this product. I was like, I'm gonna load up and I'm gonna be good. And they sent me like, it was these bath bombs, those cleaning bath bomb things. And it was funny because like they got just hit with like 1,000 negative feedback all at once, and it took me like a month to actually clear up the returns because it was so much money that Amazon was like they had to look into it. And but once it started rolling in from the seller, they knew that was the issue. But again, that was me not listening to my own advice of only buy from Amazon FBA, no matter how good the deal is, unless you know who the store is like personally, you shop from on a regular basis. Amazon can be a fantastic place to shop. You just have to follow a few rules. Make sure you buy from Amazon FBA specifically. Make sure it's from them. Make sure it's Prime. Make sure it's new. And definitely use your credit card to get the 5% cash back. I mean, to basically negate the tax you would pay or to get the extra 5% back if you were tax exempt is fantastic. But, don't just believe that there's some people that got screwed, but again, they probably made the poor decision of going for the cheapest deal, regardless of who the seller was and all that. So don't believe all that stuff that they're a terrible company. They're not. They more than anything, I love the pre-order thing. I'm a huge advocate of taking advantage of their pre-order price guarantee and all that when they have good prices. I know that there was a big thing with Final Fantasy, like their 30 minutes they were in stock for their pre-order, where it was. I'm actually going to make a separate video on that because I want to talk about Final Fantasy on its own a few months before release, before like all we get there. But don't be afraid of shopping from Amazon. Just don't be stupid when you're actually doing your shopping. And, if there's any red flags, stay away from them.